Hello, I haven't been on here for a while, and I'm going to go over to my Zoom, um, where I can see my notes and where I won't see if I'm lagging or not. But today, hello, I haven't been on here for a while. Let me turn this down, and I'm going to go over to my hearing myself. There we go. So, okay, now let me get focused. I had a little bit of a hiccup, but today I want to talk to people who are trying to accomplish a goal or a dream, whether it be whatever area of their life, or who have knocked down and want to get back up, or who has something new and they're older, just anybody. Basically, anybody I think can relate to the story. And he's an animal lover, so it goes perfectly on fur family freedom. So right now, and I'm sorry I can't see anybody that's on here because I'm over here on my Zoom where I can see my notes. But if you give me notes, I'll answer them when I'm off here. But I'm going to be going over Sylvester Stallone. I don't know what generation you're in, but he's the one who played in Rocky. And so my generation, we all know who Sylvester Stallone is. I was so surprised by what he went through. You'll see why in a minute. So I'm just going to go straight to my notes. But Sylvester Stallone went from being bullied and a nobody to a Hollywood legend. Sylvester Stallone life reads like an ultimate underdog story. One that proves resilience, grit, and belief in yourself even when nobody else does, can overcome every obstacle. So, first of all, he started off in an abusive home life. Stallone was born with complications during birth that severed his nerves on his face, leaving the lower half paralyzed. This gave him a slurred voice, drooping lips, and a permanent crooked snarl. He grew up in a volatile and abusive household. His father was physically and emotionally abusive, while his mother was strict and eccentric. He was sent to boarding school where he struggled academically and often got into fights and being expelled several times. Okay. So he was bullied at school. His face, his voice, and disability made him a target for relentless bullying. Children mocked him for looking ugly and talking funny. This constant ridicule fueled a deep determination to prove himself. Isn't that sad? So sad. We're supposed to nurture the person who's weaker or disabled. We're supposed to. Anyway, so Hollywood, not only at school, then Hollywood rejection. Later, he pursued acting, casting, and directors told him he was too ugly, that he talked funny, and he would never be a leading man. They told him his disability, looks, and voice made him unmarketable, and over 1,000 auditions ended in rejection. How many of us have a business and in sales or in, building a team or what have you? Have we had 1,000 straight rejections? So here we go. So poverty and personal hardship, so he lived in New York. Stallion was dirt poor, guys. You don't have a lot of credibility when you're dirt poor. At one point, he only had $106 left to his name. He pawned his wife's jewelry. He took her jewelry, I think it was wedding ring, just to pay bills, and the stress of poverty caused his wife to leave him. So she left him. And so losing Butkus, his beloved bull mastiff Butkus, had to be sold for $50. He sold him at $50 at a liquor store because he couldn't afford to feed his dog anymore. He's a bull mastiff. He couldn't afford to feed him. Stallone called it the most humiliating moment of his life, selling his dog. Sad, right? Sold his wife's jewelry, sold his dog, but still yet he kept going toward his dream, right, of becoming an actor. So, in the midst of his struggle, Stallone wrote Rocky in just 3 days. 3 days he wrote Rocky, pouring his own pain, his own anger, and his determination into the story of an underdog boxer. Studios offered him $360,000. That sounds right, good, right? But only if Stallone didn't play the star. They insisted his looks and voice would ruin the film. But he refused to give up. Even broke, abandoned, and dogless, Stallone refused to sell his play unless he played Rocky. Eventually, a small studio relented, but only paid him $35,000 for the script. So the first thing he did was he ran to that liquor store. He stood out there and waited for that man to come by with his dog, and sure enough, he did. So Stallone immediately tracked down the man who bought Butkus. The man demanded $15,000 and a part in the movie before returning the dog. Stallone agreed, and in the movie, both Butkus and the man appeared. Did you know that? I didn't. Making the story of Rocky's loyal companion a little reflection of Stallone's fight to reclaim his life. And you guys, I've got to add my own 2 cents here besides the notes. I thought he was hot. I didn't notice anything wrong with his voice. I love Sylvester Stallone's acting and his looks and his sexiness and his charisma. I friggin' thought he was so hot. Didn't think anything like that. I was shocked. Okay, so Rocky's success. Rocky became a cultural phenomenon, winning 3 Oscars, including Best Pictures, and earning $225 million. Don't you just feel good for him? Oh, worldwide. On a budget of less than $1 million, Rocky franchise eventually grossed over, are you ready? $1.7 billion worldwide, not including the Creed, the spin-offs that came after Rocky. So legacy, from being bullied, abused, disabled, rejected, divorced, and nearly homeless, Stallone rose to become one of Hollywood's most iconic stars. His story is a testament of power, resilience. The very thing that once made him unmarketable became the traits that made him unforgettable. Again, the very things that made him unmarketable are the traits that made him unforgettable. What are your traits that people bully you or tease you about or put you down about that make you feel rejected or alone or unsuccessful? I bet you your story, if you told your story, they would help someone else. You know what? I want you to have a great day and keep smiling, and I hope you enjoy this. I'll see you soon. Thank you for being on today. Now let me get back over to, now I've got to try to get back over to, it doesn't make me feel so bad because Mel Robbins did this too. I'm trying to find YouTube. I can't end this. Here, my YouTube. So I'm gonna, I bet you my daughter's out there. Yeah.